I wonder if he's arrived yet. This view never fails to amaze. So beautiful. I feel so alone in this big, empty house. Careful with those boxes. They're fragile. This move has to be perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't do this anymore. The pressure is too much. I feel like I'm breaking. I just need a break.
In the heart of Lagos, where glass towers reflected the dreams of ambitious people and luxury cars moved through crowded streets like symbols of success, there lived a woman whose name was known everywhere. Ngozi Okafor had everything people prayed for. A beautiful mansion sitting behind tall golden gates. A wardrobe filled with designer clothes. Businesses that carried her name across the city. People who smiled whenever she entered a room. From the outside, Ngozi's life looked perfect. But behind the expensive walls and endless celebrations was a woman who had slowly forgotten the one thing money could never purchase. Peace. Every morning, Ngozi woke up surrounded by comfort, yet she felt strangely empty. Her phone never stopped ringing. Business partners wanted meetings. Friends wanted invitations. People wanted favors. Everyone wanted something from her. But very few people truly knew her. Years earlier, Ngozi was not the wealthy woman everyone admired. She grew up in a small neighborhood in Enugu, where her mother sold roasted corn by the roadside and her father repaired old shoes to provide for the family. Life was difficult, but their home was filled with laughter. They did not have much, but they had each other. Her mother always told her, "Ngozi, never allow success to make you forget the people who stood beside you when you had nothing." Those words stayed with her. At least, they did in the beginning. After years of hard work, Ngozi built a successful fashion company.
Careful with those boxes. They're fragile. This move has to be perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Her designs became popular among celebrities and wealthy clients. Soon, the same people who ignored her humble beginnings were now asking for pictures with her. Success arrived quickly. And slowly, everything changed. The small girl who once shared meals with neighbors became a woman who barely knew the names of the people working in her own house. She stopped visiting her old community. She stopped answering calls from old friends. She became convinced that people from her past only wanted to remind her of where she came from. One day, her childhood friend, Amoka, visited her mansion unexpectedly. Amoka looked the same as always. Simple clothes. A warm smile. The kind of smile that did not need expensive jewelry. "Ngozi," Amoka said gently, "I came because I miss my friend." Ngozi looked at her from across the large living room. "You should have called before coming," she replied coldly. Amoka noticed the distance between them. "You have everything now," she said softly. "But I hope you haven't lost yourself." Ngozi smiled. People say things like that when they don't understand what it takes to succeed. Amoka sighed. "I understand success. I just hope success still understands you." Ngozi watched her leave without saying goodbye. At that moment, she believed she had made the right choice. She believed she had outgrown her old life. But life has a way of reminding people that nothing truly belongs to them forever. Months later, everything collapsed. It started with one phone call. Then another, then another. A major business deal failed. Investors withdrew their support. A financial investigation revealed that someone close to Ngozi had secretly mismanaged company funds. The person she trusted the most had betrayed her.
Team, these numbers are a disaster.
The projections are off.
We need to fix this, now.
I'll check the supplier data.
Good. Let's get it done.
Within weeks, the empire she spent years building began disappearing. The luxury cars were sold. The mansion was taken. The designer clothes were packed away. The same people who once surrounded her suddenly became unreachable. The invitations stopped. The calls stopped. The admiration disappeared. For the first time in years, Ngozi experienced silence. Not the peaceful kind.
I can't do this anymore. The pressure is too much. I feel like I'm breaking. I just need a break.
The painful kind. She moved into a small apartment with only a few belongings. The woman who once had everything now counted every expense. She looked at herself in the mirror and barely recognized the person staring back.
I can't believe it's come to this. So many memories here. I have to leave now.
She had spent years building a life that impressed strangers, but she never built a life that could support her when everything fell apart. One rainy evening, while walking through an old neighborhood, Ngozi saw something familiar. A small roadside food stand. A woman selling roasted corn. She stopped. The smell transported her back to childhood. And there, sitting behind the stand, was her mother's old friend, Mama Chika. The elderly woman looked at Ngozi carefully. Then her eyes widened. Ngozi. For the first time in months, someone said her name with genuine happiness. Not because of her money. Not because of her success. Just because
Grandma,
it was her.
it's so good to see you. My child, welcome home. You look well. I've missed you. How is everyone? We are all fine. Come, let's walk.
Mama Chika invited her to sit. Ngozi hesitated. She felt embarrassed. She did not want anyone to see her struggling. But Mama Chika simply smiled. Child, hunger does not ask whether someone is rich or poor. That night, Ngozi ate a simple meal. And somehow, that small plate of food felt more meaningful than all the expensive dinners she had attended. Days passed. Ngozi began helping Mama Chika at the food stand. At first, she did it because she had nowhere else to go. But slowly, something changed. She started talking to people again. She listened to their stories. She learned the names of children playing nearby. She discovered that the people she once considered ordinary carried extraordinary stories. There was a young boy named Kolechi who dreamed of becoming an engineer but had stopped attending school because his mother could no longer afford his fees. There was a widow who secretly shared her food with neighbors despite having very little herself. There was an elderly man who spent his entire life teaching children for free because he believed knowledge was a gift. Ngozi began seeing the world differently. She realized she had spent years chasing people who only loved what she owned, while ignoring people who valued who she was. Then one afternoon, something unexpected happened. A young woman walked into the food stand carrying an old handbag. She looked nervous. When Ngozi saw her face, she froze. It was Amoka. For a moment, neither woman spoke. Then Amoka smiled. I heard what happened. Ngozi looked down. I thought everyone would be happy to see me fail. Amoka shook her head. Some people were. But not everyone. Ngozi's eyes filled with tears. Why are you still kind to me after the way I treated you? Amoka held her hand. Because your worst moment is not the only thing that defines you. Those words broke something inside Ngozi. A wall she had built for years finally came down. She apologized. Not the kind of apology given out of pride. A real apology. The two friends sat together like they did when they were young. And for the first time in a long time, Ngozi felt wealthy again. But her story was not over. A few months later, Ngozi discovered that her old fashion company had left behind one valuable thing. A small group of talented young designers who had lost their jobs after the collapse. Instead of rebuilding another empire for herself, Ngozi decided to rebuild something bigger. She created a training center for young people from struggling communities. She used her experience, not just her money, to teach others. She helped Kolechi return to school. She supported small businesses. She returned to the community she once abandoned. But this time, she did not come as a wealthy woman looking down on others. She came as someone who finally understood them. Years later, people still talked about Ngozi Okafor. But not because of the mansion she once owned. Not because of the clothes she wore. Not because of the wealth she lost. They remembered her because she became someone who gave hope to people who felt forgotten. One evening, Ngozi stood near the same roadside where her mother once sold roasted corn. Children laughed nearby. Families shared meals. The community was alive. She smiled as she remembered the woman she used to be. A woman who had everything but felt empty. A woman who lost everything but found what truly mattered. Because in the end, money could buy comfort. It could buy beautiful homes. It could buy expensive things. But it could never buy a genuine smile from someone who truly cared. It could never buy the warmth of friendship. It could never buy the feeling of knowing that your life made someone else's life better. And that was the greatest fortune Ngozi Okafor ever discovered.